Howdy, Immortalium here, and today I thought I might discuss some older anime TV series that I would love to see licensed and released someday here in the West. As you probably do know, I'm a big fan of older anime series. A lot of them are amongst my favorite anime of all time. However, just like with any medium, it is true that a lot of anime releases are more focused on newer side. So it certainly is not exclusive to anime. It very much applies to any medium. For instance, just take a look at Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that. Their focus is predominantly on newer TV series and films coming from maybe the 90s onwards rather than anything before that. So it's certainly not exclusive to anime, but even so, I still thought I might make a little bit of a list here of just some anime series that I would love to see released someday, whether it's for their importance or just because I really want to see them. And starting off, the first anime series that I would love to see released someday is a series called Heidi, Girl of the Alps. Now it's based on a novel of the same name, and it originally aired in 1974 as part of World Masterpiece Theatre, which is a programming block that aired adaptations of Western literature on Fuji television. And Heidi, Girl of the Alps is notable for many different reasons, one of them being the involvement of some very important people. The series was directed by Isao Takahata, which, if you guys know, was one of the co-founders of Studio Ghibli and directed many Ghibli films such as Grave of the Fireflies, Only Yesterday, Pompoko, My Neighbor the Yamadas, Princess Kaguya. You also saw the involvement of Hayao Miyazaki, another co-founder of Studio Ghibli and very well-renowned director of anime films, and Yoshiyuki Tomino, the creator of the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, interestingly enough. There were some other very important people involved in the series as well. And overall, I would just love to be able to get my chance to see it someday. Sticking to series directed by Studio Ghibli people, the next anime series that I would love to be able to see someday, released over here, is a series called Future Boy Conan. Airing only 26 episodes in 1978, it was directed by Hayao Miyazaki, one of the greatest anime directors of all time. And interestingly, it's a post-apocalyptic series. I don't know too much about the story, but I've heard again that it is one of the most brilliant anime to have ever been made, and I would love to be able to see it someday. I love the artwork of it, by the way. Apparently a lot of the ideas that ended up being in Laputa Castle in the Sky came from Future Boy Conan. So of course I'd love to be able to see what that series was like. Next up is a series called Tomorrow's Joe. Now, I think I've spoken about the manga before and how I'd love to be able to read the manga, since I hear it as one of the greatest manga series ever made. But I do hear that the anime itself is also similarly well received, and it aired 79 episodes between 1970 and 1971, and is notable for being directed by Isamu Dezaki, a very well-known anime director who directed a lot of very important anime films and TV series. For what I've heard, it's about boxing, and apparently not only is it one of the best stories that sports anime and manga have to offer, but also it's one of the best stories that anime and manga itself has to offer. And therefore, as you might imagine, I would love to be able to get a chance to see the TV series sometime. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. The next one that I want to discuss is another very important anime series. In fact, some people would probably argue that this is one of the most important anime series of all time. And that is the original Astro Boy that aired from 1963 to 1966. Now, some of you might pause me for a second and go, hang on, Immortalium, I'm fairly sure that series has already been released. Didn't Funimation pick it up recently? And the answer is yes, Funimation has picked it up recently. However, they're only showing the English dubbed episodes that were edited and made for American television back then. I want to see a complete unedited release of the Japanese version of Astro Boy. Many of the animation techniques that were developed for the Astro Boy TV series have gone on to define how anime production has happened to today. And not only that, but it's a very, very important series and has had a huge cultural footprint, not just in Japan, but also in a lot of the world. So, as you might imagine, I would love to be able to get a chance to check out this series someday. And of course, I don't want to watch the edited English dub version. I want to see the original Japanese version. And finally, I would like to mention Space Battleship Yamato, which originally aired from 1974 to 1975 and spanned 26 episodes. Space Battleship Yamato is a space opera. The original manga was created by Leiji Matsumoto, one of the most legendary mangaka ever. And interestingly, from what I've heard, he seems to have directed this series as well. I can't quite confirm this, but from what I've heard, it seems like he was the director, which would surprise me. What I can confirm, though, is that a man named Eiichi Yamamoto was involved in the screenplay of this series. Eiichi Yamamoto, if you're unaware, was involved in the Osamu Tezuka anime Rama trilogy, directing 1001 Nights and Belladonna of Sadness, and co-directing Cleopatra. As you might imagine, I would love to be able to see this series. Not only am I a big fan of space opera, in fact, Leiji Matsumoto's Space Pirate Captain Harlock is one of my favorite anime series of all time, but I've also heard that Hideaki Anno, the creator of Neon Genesis Evangelion and Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, apparently considers the original Space Battleship Yamato to be his favorite anime of all time, and the series that got him into creating anime. As you might imagine, that is an enormous impact it has had, and so I'd love to be able to get a chance to be able to check out that series someday. Of course, many of these series, as I mentioned, are old, and in particular, I don't think we're going to be seeing Astro Boy, all 193 episodes, released anytime soon. I think there's too many legal problems behind that, and also would the demand be there for such a long series? I don't know. But I do hope that some of these other series might end up getting picked up one day. It's always possible for older anime series to be picked up, but of course it is important that on the off chance that some of these series do get picked up, that there is enough interest in there that anime distributors can make their money back, and that it would encourage them to release some older anime series onwards. So let me know your thoughts on my picks for some of the anime series that I would love to be able to see released someday. Let me know if you have seen any of these series. Let me know what your thoughts on them. Let me know if you've heard of any of these series before. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye-bye.